What up, everybody? Good morning. It's Lonnie with ChartsNLabs. I know I've been slacking on doing these daily videos. So I am back. This one is on the post end of the day. Even though it's still in the morning, I've already done the trade. And I did Fridays, and I don't believe I did a video on Friday as well. Been having a lot going on with my business and some other things in life that have caused me to be a little bit out of touch with the market from where we were. I'm going to share my screen with you guys so that I can be in here. Sorry. This sick also has been kind of kicking my butt. So what we got is this is the last 3 months of my account. You can see it's since I've withdrawn and then put money back in and everything. It's saying that I started with $637, but that was not the case. I started with 400. But around December 22nd is when I made my first trade. And you can see we went up pretty well. And then I had a really good run. I had one bad trade in January, but I recovered very well. These were all good quality trades that I was making where I was very in tune with what was going on, following the news. I was very in my element. And then around here, I think this one gave me that little bit of uh, false confidence. I didn't do as much effort into the trade as far as making sure that I had a quality setup, following my exact structure of making sure I did my 20%. I kind of double dipped and probably got a little bit too much confidence on me, which led to me making this trade kind of just out of nothing. Um, you get into that moment where you just think that whatever you pick is right. And it's almost like you're not following the market or reading the market, you're actually directing the market. And that's kind of what happened. I ended up taking a big L where I thought just because I thought I was in a play, it was going to be an automatic 20 to 40% profit, maybe even more. And I tried to make a bit of a preemptive gamble on earnings call. I went away from playing QQQ on the 0 days, and I went on a weekly AMD call, playing their earnings, and I over positioned in it, and ended up losing big time on it, and then and that was followed up by I think I actually stayed in that play for 2 days, which led me to a smaller position or smaller funds available for the QQQ play. So instead of playing, having a good sized position to make a quality play, I was a little bit on that tail end of stretching it to more of like a gamble type play where I was risking more, trying to make more with less. And AMD I was married to it where it was already going down, lost, and then I tried to take the little bit of recoup plus kind of a Hail Mary to make up for it. Instead of playing with the trend, the trend is your friend. Play with the trend. I try to go against it and play that reversal and get the full move to be able to get maximum profit, and took another big loss. The cool thing is I got out of that habit and went back to doing some better research. I made a very good trade on Friday. I believe Friday was the 20th. Yeah, because I was 842 and I doubled up on that trade. It was a research driven trade, not a structural trade. Kind of playing the move, playing the max pain points of the market, and all. So then the weekend, I try to do a futures play on this account, and I don't know who that is. Oh, I think I do know who that is. with this account, and I did a little Ethereum futures play over the weekend and lost $100 on it, 80 bucks on it when crypto took a little bit of a digger over on Sunday. So that was a little bit annoying, but I did get back into a call today. I made a bunch of moves and I'm a little bit frustrated, but it also worked out. Let me see if I could get into my history. Made a play on the Qs. 59 minutes ago, an hour ago, an hour ago, an hour ago. Yeah, this is the played Ethereum and lost 88 bucks. So then my 4 contracts, 215, bought one more at 2, sold all 5 for 222. Small little gain because it was going indirection was wild. So then I got a put. Then I bought more puts. And then I bought a couple calls because it was being a little indirective and I wanted to play the strangle just in case the move was quick and sudden. Then I got out of the calls because it was looking bad. So I took a pretty hefty loss on those. And then I took that money and bought more puts that I already had. Let me see, sell. Yeah. I was trying to buy 2 more and I accidentally sold 2 that I had. So back so I had 4 and then I accidentally sold 2 at 173, but I was able to buy 4 of them back at 150 and then I sold all 6 at 2. So I did break the rules with Robinhood. I'm going to get a warning for doing too many day trades. I'm going to have to go to a cash account again, which is no problem, as long as they let me. And if not, I'm going to have to withdraw my money and take it to Webull if they lock me out and don't let me do anything. But I did kind of salvage that account play today. On the first trade, I was up $71. A couple bad plays and went with the indirection of the market going back and forth. It was all the way down $160 and full recovered all the way up to being up $170 for the day, just a little 10%, 9.8% day. Totally okay with that. As the tariff war and trade war and uncertainty and saga, where we are going to be fully dependent on tweets and texts that are going to mess us up. So market is looking like it is pulling down, and I could have got more out of this. That put, because I had the 603 put, sold it at 2. Looks like it's going to be at $3 now. Could have got a lot more out of that, but it was up in here. Actually, it was this candle that I sold on. And of course, I sold and it free fell. The range that I was looking for was 600, 628. This would be where this is where I would be selling if we look at this one. Holy, I got both phones going crazy. Just trying to do a little update, man. All right, let's just go look at what this would have been. Now, put for today 603, 364, and I sold it at 2. I wanted to get out. I wasn't comfortable with the play. A lot of indirection. There's max pain today is 607 going into today. So there was a lot of calls. The range was 600 to 608. And we were just stuck in that 603 50 to 604.50 channel. And neither way wanted to break and go. So of course, would have been an absolute banger. This is going to go to probably a $4 contract here in a little bit. If it continues to go down, take this off auto. All right, could test this. the break all the way down to 596 would be wild. Wow, it's definitely going. Holy cow! Did I leave a lot of money on the table? Or oh, look at that, 420. Wow, 6 of them times 200 is another 1,200 bucks that I could have had. So, yeah, I mean the chart. I read it right. I had it. I had the play right. I mean, technically, what I would have done today on the orb strategy, if you look, our 15-minute is this one, and our top range is up here at 608. The bottom range is here at 604, and we were in the indecisiveness of this. It was wanting to break down, which is where I stayed on my put. But I should have held because this goes all the way back till Thursday's opening range, and we broke below that. Now we're gonna go testing this support, and we're gonna test this wick right here. I'm gonna guess that there's gonna be a bounce here, and we're gonna recover some. Um, but again, I'm also very biased towards the downside on the market right now because I think a lot of these guys are selling for cash. There is a very big risk off, and there's also a little bit of a rotation where you see a lot of this money's coming out of everything. But right now, gold and silver are up today, and all the crypto are down today. So a lot of it's really just kind of cash heavy today. Everybody's kind of down now. Yeah. So this white is the weekly range from the 9th. So not last week, but the week before. I'm gonna set up the weekly range from last week. I'm gonna delete all these actually. I do like those baby blue ones. Those were a good range. This is gonna be a good range. But I want to go into the weekly. And let's make sure we're auto fit. Okay. All right, sorry. So we're gonna do this one is gonna be the pink is 2 weeks ago. And then last week is gonna be purple. Actually, I want to do blue. Horizontal ray. So this one is gonna be the baby blue. This is last week's ranges. Then we're gonna make this one be the dark blue as the older one. Oh, no, this one. Okay, so the reason I'm looking at this is these are 2 weeks ago and last week's range. And now this is the week that we're currently in. So when you come down in through the time ranges, we're going to look at the 4 hour, which is a longer term range. And you can see how we kind of are bouncing in between that. We're just going to kind of slowly go through the ranges and seeing, respected that, come down, respected that, come down. So we are in a tighter range this week versus the last week. Obviously, smaller gaps, bigger gap. And that is compression. So there is going to be a big move soon, I would think. Maybe it was what my gut tells me. Which way? Don't really know. So I'm in the 30-minute now. And what I'm seeing is some rounded runs and then some clear wicks here that are almost lining up as they are showing a resistance trend. So we take this off that. And we're just going to go there. We're just going to go orange. The wick, and then this rounded into it, and we broke You can see that it broke above and hit that weekly range and then came back down. So I'm going to use this as kind of a guide right now, because it has multiple touch points here, 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 and then this group right here, and we're below it. So really that break point that I was at would have been a good indicator to hold this break below. And of course I didn't have this drawn up. So let's go into the 5 minute, and this is where we're at. And you can see that we're kind of in a little bit of a free fall. Big time drop. Actually, I'm gonna go 45 minute. Because what I want to see is where is the up support? Where is So I'm gonna turn this off so I can get it out of the volume wick so I can see it. And you can see there's a 1, 2, 3. There's a little bit of this and it's broken, but we could at least see that there was some up support here. So if we do that, these do line up pretty good. We're gonna change this color though to the green. So orange is kind of that downward pressure. I normally don't like using green because obviously a green candle. I don't like using green trend lines or rays or red. Um, but well, I said I don't. Let's not stick to your guns. So let's say yellow matches my volume. So I try to stay away from red, yellow, and green. So we'll just do purple for this one. And so touch point, touch point, touch point, touch point, and it broke right here. So there is going to be a look to see if it can recover off this, or is it going to come all the way down to that 596 zone again? So kind of watching today, not playing anymore. Again, I already blew through all my day trades for the whole week, trying to mess with Robinhood, and it accidentally burned through them. I did not mean to do all that. I should have one more. Or I guess I should have closed my last one maybe, and then I'd be risking one more. That was a killer play if I could have held that till 4 if I was brave enough. But again, sometimes you just got to take the profit. I had a 159. I had 16 average, so I got 40 cents. What did I have? I had a 159 average, and we sold them at 2. Can't be mad at that. 2 divided by 159. Oh wait, we gotta do 1. It's a 26% profit. You know, stay in the discipline. Could have went for 100%. Would have been absolutely crazy. And I would have been sitting good, and I'd have been happy with that. Of course, I did 100% on Friday, actually 123%. But I was kind of in a position to do that. I was not in the position to do it today, and today's volatility is a little bit higher than what yesterday's was or Friday's was. Yesterday's was a clear breakout and then just let it ride. This was chop, and there was pull upwards. With max pain being 607 going into today. So there could have easily been, instead of this big red at this point, we could have easily spiked up and came in to test this range. But this red candle broke everything down. And so that's where I was maybe, if I was watching it and it happened just a little bit sooner, that big candle would have shown that I could have held longer, and got that bigger profit. But where it was still chopping, I wanted to take my exit before I had to deal with it. So again, that's where my plays are. I know I haven't been doing these daily as much. There's just been a lot going on, and I've been making I made a couple bad plays in a row. As soon as I shifted to doing that 8 AMD, try to play earnings, which I normally stay away from. I don't know why I went that route. Earnings are so volatile, especially in a very frothy, toppy market where and the AI boom was going on. You got stuff just flying. It's hard to go up, but it's hard to go down because there's such a bolster into the market. And I was up I was up over 900% in what is that, like a month and a half, from December 22nd to February 2nd. He's absolutely killing it and a little euphoric, kind of frothy like the market, of course. And then I made a couple bad plays in a row. So it's very quick that if you break out of your discipline and if you break into bad habits, that you will, you could falter really quickly. I preach discipline, and psychology in the markets um, is bigger than learning the charts. The charts are fairly easy to learn and read the direction of which way they want to go. Where is support? Where is a wick? Where is resistance? You can learn those lines pretty easily with a little bit of familiarity. The hardest part is to be able to maintain that discipline and not be emotional when there's a move. To not panic and sell when you're down a little bit, to not get greedy when you're up a lot. And this was a greed thing right here. This was greed. So it's something that I've struggled with, and I'll admit that I often get a little too confident in myself and get a little greedy trying to get into a bigger account too quickly, because the smaller accounts are a little bit are more difficult because you are at such a risk to get that same move. When you get to a $10,000 account, to make $150 is a blink. In a $1,000 account, that's 10%. So yeah, I'm trying to get this account up. Would love to get this into a $30,000 account, um, or better. So got to get back on that discipline train, and we bottomed and stopped doing those bad decisions. So from Thursday, we closed with 842, and we're up to 19. So Friday and Monday we're let's just do the math on that. How good are we doing? 1907 divided by 842. That would be 126%, 127%. So yeah, we're climbing, we're grinding. We'll get this back up. Stay disciplined, don't make foolish mistakes, and we're kind of watching this. Market could pull back into a correction zone, and we could see some massive moves down. Don't chase them is what I would say, because the moves will be quick. It's always a quick down and then a little bit of a grind up and then a quicker down. So could this and this point be the new trend line? We're going to see. Tomorrow will be interesting because tomorrow lines up with Monday, Tuesday. Oh no, Wednesday. We're going to look for Tuesday, Wednesday to see which direction we're going to go. We got to break above this resistance and prove that this is support right now, or we're going to fall into this kind of testing. So right now, if I was to do this, our current range is this one. Well, not our current range. I guess I'm going to do just the top right now, because that's where we opened. Our high for open was 607.96. Don't know where the bottom is yet, but this will be a weekly range for this week. We're going to kind of follow that more as a weekly, and then we're going to look at the daily orb more precisely. But AMD is running really hard right now and kind of holding everybody. Not AMD, I'm sorry, NVIDIA is holding everybody up right now because of the tariff pullback. They are benefiting from getting a ton of money back. But there's also some weird stuff going on with them in OpenAI. Their deals are broken, but redoing and structuring. They're giving them money for them to give them back and to buy pieces, but they're getting a stake in. Yeah. So OpenAI and NVIDIA is one to watch. They're doing some weird stuff. NVIDIA and Apple are the big winners on tariffs, and the tariffs being pulled. Looks like the market is going to try to hold the $600 level. Unless too many people buy puts or calls, it'll probably redirect. So max pain is going to be coming down from 607. But likely there'll be enough puts sold down here that they'll probably push it back up. I'm going to guess that 603.50 just had so much action this morning. 604 maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 603 recovery today. And then get flat. There might be a quick move and then get flat because they're not going to want to pay a lot of the calls. Most people are buying calls right now, which is brave. So let's see. So yeah, let's take a quick peek at TXC. Got 3 bots going that are not doing too hot right now. Price is down again. We were just trying to run up a second ago. Oh, a bit ago. We were trying to run up and somebody sold. TXC is in the middle of a cease and desist as the Texas State Board of Securities is deciding if the mining seats were sold as unregistered securities or if not. Cool thing is that the mine and the network is all in the clear. SEC's already spoken on proof of work mining, and those type of networks are not securities, which is cool for TXC. So the coin is safe. It would appear the mining is being built, and it'd be nice to see it continue. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Could be a nice big recovery. I'm looking for this 31 zone to get back in a little bit of an uptrend, well, at least to break this downtrend and get back into this. Even a 29-cent range would kind of show a little bit of a reversal, but we're in this big channel right now. Sorry, still fighting this thing. Yeah, it bounced up. Still would have been really cool to get that 150 to 350 or 150 to 3 would have been 100%. Would have been another double up on the account. So, but there, no FOMO. Don't try to do it tomorrow, and we will see what we got going on tomorrow. Every day is a new day. Every trade is a new trade. Don't revenge trade, Lonnie. That's my advice to myself. Now, hopefully, you guys are learning both the goods and the bads through some of these lessons. So, hope you guys have a good week and everybody's making money. We will be back tomorrow.